In today's video, we're going to be creating this tech startup hero section design. So let's get started. What I'm going to do first is insert a frame. So I'm just going to click on F and I'm going to select desktop. Next, let's reduce the height to 810. And next, let's change the background color to the background color for this project. We'll go through all of these one by one, but I'll also try to put them in the description below. So let's select this. Let's copy the code for the background color and just copy that. And I'm going to go back to our desktop and I'm going to change the fill to this background color. Next, we're going to add some effects. Select effects and select noise. Now let's work on the noise settings. I'm going to open this. It's going to be set to mono. The noise size is going to be 2. Density is 100%. The color, I'm going to come here and I'm going to just type in the color for the noise color like that. Let's go back to our desktop and we have this really nice noise design, but it's a bit bright. Let's reduce the opacity and this is what we have. And yeah, we have our background. Let's add a layout guide. So once more, click on this. We're going to open the layout guide, make it columns, make this 12. Let's increase this to 15. And finally, margin is going to be 120. And we're done with our background. Let's create our header now. So we'll start with logo. The logo text, the typography for the logo is the text is BioRhyme. Width is regular, size is 30, line height is 36. Once again, all of this will be in the description below. I'm just going to select this and I'm going to bring in a copy here. And for our text color, my logo is already set to my text color, but this is the text color for everything in this particular video. The name of our um, service or company or product is New Rigs, and I'm just going to come closer just to make sure it's at the edge there. Next, let's create our the content for our header section, and I'm just going to select this text. The text for this header is the font name is DM Mono, the weight is regular, size is 16, and the line height is 24. I'm just going to go ahead and grab a copy of this and bring it in. Once again, for me, this is already set to our text color, so you can go ahead and change your text to this text color. I'm going to make this an auto layout and I'm going to change the left and right padding to 15 and the top and bottom padding to 5. And this is what we have. I'm going to create 4 more copies of this so we can have 5 in total. So I'm just going to create this. So first one is going to be home. No, the first one is going to be products. Second one is going to be features. Third is going to be pricing. Fourth is going to be resources. And the final one is going to be contacts. I'm going to close that. Select all of these, make it an auto layout and make the gap 10. I'm going to move this to this edge like this, and I'm going to select our logo auto layout, and the alignment is middle, the gap is auto. That's fine. Now let's make sure that our header is 60 from the top of our frame, and yeah, we are done with the header section. Next, we're going to insert a rectangle. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll insert a rectangle, and I'm going to make the height 100 and the width is going to be 1015. Let's bring this here. I'm going to open the corner radius, make the top right corner radius 120 and the bottom right corner radius 120 as well. Let's change the fill to gradient. I'm going to just click around here and add one more stop, and I'm going for, we have 0, 50 and 100. So for me, it's currently the lightest color is on the right, the 50% is on the middle, and the darker color is on the right. So sometimes it will flip around. So you just make sure you orient it properly. For the first stop, that's 0% in this gradient 1, I'm going to select the code here and I'm going to go back to my rectangle. The fill for 0% is going to be this. Second stop, which is the 50% mark, is going to be this color, and I'm just going to copy that, go back to my rectangle, and I'm going to click here and change the color for the 50% position. And finally, for the 100% position, I'm going to copy the code and I'm going to add this here. So change this like this, and this is what we have. Next, I'm going to duplicate this rectangle. So I'm just going to move this up a bit and I'm going to create 2 more copies. This one, I'm just going to rotate and so it's facing the opposite direction, and I'm going to move it this direction like this. And finally, this one is still going to face this position, but the length is going to be slightly longer. I'm going to let's make it 1080, and this is what we have. So now we have our 3 rectangles that will form the where we'll put our text on, the heading text. So let's go back to our style guide. The heading text here is DM mono, weight is regular, size is 48, line height is 54. So I'm just going to bring in a copy of this, and once again my text color is set to text color. You can go ahead and just change yours. I'm going to copy this text, or let me just create more copies. Before I do that, let me select and let's have copies of the text. Control Shift and V, so I will paste to match the content here. Let's go to the second text, which is move faster. I'm going to copy this text. Once again, come to this, Control Shift and V. Third text, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to make Control Shift and V, and let me just move this in here. And for the spacing between, select this text and I'm going to, it's supposed to be, this one is supposed to be 60 from the right of our the right edge of our rectangle. Select the text, select this rectangle, Alt V to make sure they are aligned vertically, or just use this the button here, and I'm going to group this. Select this one as well. This time it's going to be 70, and I'm just going to select that and Alt V just to make sure it's aligned vertically, and I'm going to group that. Finally, same with this one, I'm going to make sure it's 60 from the edge, the right edge of our rectangle. Select the text and the rectangle, Alt V, just to make sure it's aligned, and I'm going to group it. And yeah, we have this. Let me run it in prototype if it's going to load. Let's go back to our design, and I'm just going to go back here and we are done with this. We can select this tree and The spacing for them is going to be 30, and let me move things up a bit. I want to check the header and the spacing between the first rectangle is going to be 50. You can group it if you want to, but I want to leave them separately. So just a little bit more to the top. So it's supposed to be 50, and this is what we have. Let's take the prototype is taking quite a bit of time to load. It happens, no worries. Let's go on to our design. I'm going to insert our body text and some call to action buttons. Um, so the body text is going to be the text, the font name is Inter, weight is regular, size is 20, and the line height is 28. And the button text is going to be DM mono, weight is regular, size is 18, and the line height is 26. I'm going to select both of them, and I'm going to bring it into our design, into our frame. Select both of them and bring them in. I'm just going to come to this body text, and I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to Control Shift and V so that we can have the same text pasted there. Let's reduce the width of this till we have something about here. Let's change the alignment of the text to center. Bring this here. Next, for the button text, I'm going to just make this an auto layout. We're just going to leave it as it is. Padding for the left and right is 10. Padding for the top and bottom is also going to be 10. Let's go and grab the text for our button. Get started, free, and Control Shift V. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to come back here, Control Shift and V, and I'm going to paste that. So select this to make the spacing 30. I want it to be really large, and I'm going to group this. No, make it an auto layout. Select this frame and this text, make them an auto layout as well, and make the gap 20. And I'm just going to make sure the space isn't set, and I'm going to make the width, no, the height or content so that we have this, and align this to the center, and then check the spacing between these two, and it should be 60. And yeah, this is what we have. Alright, let's take a moment to look at it in the prototype view. Our design essentially is done. So it's a very simple, straightforward design. If you want to, you can go ahead and add some hover states for these buttons and this side as well. But we're going to do that only for these rectangles because that's where the effects are. So let's go back to our design tab. I'm going to select these three rectangles and text, and I'm going to create a copy. You can do that with the originals, but I like to create copies most times when I'm designing. So I'm going to just move these three so that they are all um, aligned together. Let me just move this here to give myself more space to work with. Select this first one, Control Alt key to make it a component. You can also use the button, but I encourage you to get comfortable with using shortcuts. Control Alt key, and finally we're going to use Control Alt and key. Select the first one and create a variant. For this second one, I'm going to open it, select the rectangle, and let's just increase the length of the rectangle till it's about, let's see, this 1028. We're going to leave it like that. Select the text, move the text till it's 15 from the edge. and I'm going to move this like this, and I'm going to have something like that. I'm not really going to pay too much mind to, because the frame of our group is different from the length of the rectangle, so that you just have to kind of eyeball it. No worries. For our third gradient, the that's the second gradient. We're going to, the hover state is going to have a gradient. So the first and second position is going to be different, the same, but the 100% position is going to be different. I'm going to select this one, select the rectangle, and let's go to the gradients, the fill, and at 100%, we're going to change the fill to this really nice pink color. Next, let's do the same for this one. I'm going to select this, create a variant, and I'm going to open the variant, select the rectangle, increase the length of this rectangle. This one is 1031 for the width. So move this. I'm holding shift down, and this is what I have currently, 16 from the edge, and we're going to do the same thing we did with the gradients. Go to the fill at 100%. I'm going to change the color to that pink color. Again, we're going to do the same thing for this one. Add a variant, and I'm going to just zoom in to make things easier. Click the rectangle, increase it. This is currently at 1092. That's fine. Select the text. I'm holding shift down. Move the text in. It's currently, let's just make it 15 as well. Select the rectangle, go to the fill, and at 100% change it to that pink color. Finally, let's go to prototype and come to this first one. Connect the default to variant 1. Make the trigger while hovering. Animation is going to be smart animate. Curve is going to be ease in and out. Duration is going to be 500 millisecond. And if that was too fast, just take a moment to look at the settings. Once again, trigger is while hovering. Action is changed to property is going to be, we're going to change to variant 2 of this particular component. Animation is going to be smart animate. Curve is going to be ease in and out. Duration is going to be 500. Same settings will apply to the other components. I'm just going to connect these two. Let me open the settings, and it's going to be while hovering, and every other settings remain the same. Finally, we have this, and I'm going to connect this to, let me make sure I have the correct settings, and it's going to be while hovering. And yeah, we have this. So let me go back to design. I'm going to select this one and just grab a copy and bring it out of this frame. Select this one as well, grab a copy, select this one and just grab a copy. Now select this first group, Ctrl X to cut. Select this first one, Ctrl Shift R to paste and replace. Ctrl X, Ctrl Shift R, cut this one as well, and Ctrl Shift R. And let's look at our design in the prototype. Let's go, and this is what we have. So we have this cool hover effect. We already had an hover effect on the main screen of our design. That's why I didn't add to the buttons, because I felt like it would be too overwhelming. But if you want to do this and you want to add some hover states to the button as well, I will encourage you to do that. And once again, always try to play around with the designs. But yeah, with that said, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.